Okay, let's try to jump into Liliana. This is going to be like the 50th time trying to record a game with her. I just keep getting matched up against the worst decks. But hopefully I can go ahead and get into a game that's going to at least be able to show you something, give you some ideas of what type of cards you might want to put in your mono black deck. This one, unfortunately, is not a commander that you can play on paper, since it's a planeswalker and there's only a few planeswalkers you can play as your commander. However, Brawl is a little bit different, so she's gonna let me do that. And she's this commander is pretty much just good for ramp. Lets me turn my lands into lands that tap for 4 mana to cast some big spells. But let's see who we get matched up here, and hopefully it's not gonna be a blue deck. Okay, and we have Vivi, one of the most toxic decks in all of Brawl that you could possibly be playing right now. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm gonna just go ahead and... Oh, I really should scoop, but yeah, looking at this Ancient Tomb, man, that's hard to say no to. Alright, if I draw a land on my at least second or third turn, I might stand a chance here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Let's go ahead and see what I can do anyway. Vivi is actually, it's a stupid card right now. I can swing in with Shakedown Heavy for 6, and if they let me untap it, then I get to draw a card. Otherwise, they can just choose to take damage, and I don't get the draw. It's a pretty good fit for this deck because I've got a 6/4 blocker, and really I just need to keep Liliana alive long enough, so having big blockers like that helps. And then when I don't need it for a blocker, I can swing in with it and, get the opportunity to get some card draw. I'm not sure what they're thinking about right now. I think they're just, maybe they got some counter magic in their hand. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on. So I'm going to try to swing in here. Maybe they'll use some removal and tap their mana out to take care of Shakedown. Let's see what happens. So if they tap their mana, then I can cast my commander this turn. They do. So now they got 1 blue open. So unless they have Wash Away, I should be pretty safe here. Let's see if they're going to let me cast it. Okay, so it resolves. And now I'm going to go ahead and fetch a land. And that's fine. So if they cast their commander next turn, I can just go ahead and cast Sheoldred's Edict to make them sack it, and then I'll be in a pretty good position. I don't think they're going to cast their commander without having protection for it, though. They might have like a fireball or something. I think they're thinking about trying to ping my commander for as much as they can. Okay, and they're going to let that go, so I'm just going to go ahead and +1 her. Now if I can find something in my deck with Proliferate, which I do have a few of those cards, then I could probably get her proliferated next turn up to 6 and then do her ultimate on my next turn. That's if she lives. I could cast this. This is a pretty big problem for them, so they're going to be forced to have to deal with it. And then that's going to keep my commander alive if they use their resources on it. I could also just keep my mana up to cast Shoulder's Edict, just in case they try to cast their commander next turn. You know, I'm gonna be aggressive here, and I'm just gonna make them have to deal with this. I do have some ramp, which I'm not too worried about, because if I can somehow ultimate my commander next turn, then mana's not gonna be an issue. Right now, it looks like it'll be at least another 2 turns before I can do her ultimate. I would love to be able to beat Vivi, though. This deck is a huge problem. It's bullying a lot of formats right now. There's a lot of talk about it being banned in Standard. Okay, so they are gonna let me play. So in this case, it doesn't look like I'm gonna actually be able to proliferate her. So I'm just gonna have to +1 her, do it the old-fashioned way. I could make them discard here too, which might be a pretty good choice. Let me go ahead and fetch my land.
Witness my power.
Okay, so this one is what? Whenever an opponent loses life, I gain that much life. So I could swing in for 5 now and gain 5 life, but I think I'd rather just leave them back as a blocker, just to make sure they don't put something out with haste and take her down to 5, because if they don't deal with her now, then I can go ahead and do my thing next turn. That's going to leave me for 6 mana, though. I don't know if they're going to... Yeah, so when the timer stops like that, when I cast a spell, that's usually because they have some type of interaction. So there's probably a spell in their hand that they can cast. I don't know if that's going to be a counter spell or something like Hop that's going to let them search for a card. However, I am going to make them get rid of some cards. So if they're going to cast some counter spell, some 1 mana counter spell, they're going to have to do it now. Yeah, let's just make them discard. So they're going to have to discard 3 cards here. That's going to leave them 2 cards in hand. They're going to draw an extra on their upkeep and have 3 cards to cast from. Let's see what they're going to get rid of. Okay, so they had the ability to do damage to creatures, but not to planeswalkers, it looks like. Okay, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to leave Bloodthirsty Conqueror back, and hopefully next turn I can go ahead and do her ultimate. Okay, so they are... Yeah, they are going to be able to pop off with Vivi here a little bit. But do they have enough to pop off with 2 cards in hand? Let's see. Yep, that's going to be 2 damage there. That's fine.
You're more powerful than I thought.
Okay, so this is the other combo piece, and they have no untapped mana, so I think that's going to be game. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see her do her ultimate, but you know what? You did get to see one of the win cons in this deck, which, I mean, it's not an uncommon win con. I do have the mana for it, though, so just to be safe, I am going to Shoulder's Edict and make them sack their commander. I'll take some damage for that, but that's no big deal, because then I'll swing in with Bloodthirsty Conqueror, and that should sweep this game up. Yeah, and I think we're done here. That's gonna... There we are. It's not the way I was hoping to win, but you know what? I did beat Vivi, and I think that's, you know... That's a good day. Any day you can beat Vivi in Brawl, or Standard, or any format, that's a good day. So I'll take that. So that combo there, that's just one of those infinite life loss, life gain combos. There's a few cards that can pull that off. That's just 2 of them that you saw there. Let's try one more time. I don't have a great feeling about it. I've not been having a lot of great games, so I think, you know, being able to beat Vivi on that last one, that's probably one of the better games I'm going to have with this deck all day. But maybe, you know, since I started, you know, since I won that one, maybe I'll start a streak here. Volgavoth. So these are probably going to be a lot of creature removal, which honestly is not going to be too bad of a problem for me. I am going to go first. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with Fountain Port. Nah, take that back. I'm just going to play a basic land. Yeah, so here's another mono black deck. I'm not sure what their win con's going to be. I don't know if they're trying to win through creature damage or if they're going to be casting some spells they're going to try to win with, but let's see what they do here. If I can get a creature on the board, I can cast this, and that's going to be quite... Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Sure, let's go ahead and cast Tiny Bones, and we'll get Phyrexian Tower out. Black spells cost 1 less. So I should be able to cast my commander this turn because I can swing in with Tiny Bones and sack it with Phyrexian to get the extra 2 mana and then drop Fountain Port, and that'll be 4. Or I could play it safe and just do a little bit of ramp right now and cast Black Market, which might be the safe bet. But you know what? The sooner I can get her ultimate, that's gonna be a better case for me. Oh, this is honestly a pretty tough choice. I'm gonna go Black Market. I'm gonna force them to use their removal if they have any. Which, they're playing mono black, I'm sure they're full of removal. That's going to be a problem. So I am going to have to find a way to deal with that. Which I think I just found my way. So I can actually cast my commander here, and then I should still have enough here to deal with their flyer. And I should have made a token here too. You know what, in that case I think I'm just going to hold back, and you know what, let's meat hook here. Yeah, I think that's the play. Let's meat hook for 3. You know, let's use this and sack him since he's gonna die anyway. That way I don't have to use my treasure. And then I'm gonna use that and Fountain Port, and then we should be good. And then whatever they cast from here, I can Sheoldred's Edict and then cast my commander on my next turn. Okay, I was worried. I thought they could get this back from their graveyard, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So they're going to put a creature in hand, which is fine, because I'm going to go ahead and play some removal. So I should be able to play my commander next turn without it being attacked before my next turn. So I should be safe here. And I've still got 1 more removal in hand too. And I can always pump out a blocker with Fountain Port. I'm just going to take the life loss here, get some value. Let's go ahead and put... I don't want to tap Fountain Port for that. You have to be careful with this because it auto-taps your mana. And I don't know if I want Fountain Port tapped right now. So I'm kind of tempted, actually, to use the treasure. Nah, let's just put this out. And we'll do Ancient Tomb and cast it like that. That way I've still got the mana up if I need it to activate Fountain Port to make a token. Go ahead and do it +1. Let's get that land fetched. And pass the turn. So I've got 2 instant speed removals in hand, so let's see what they do. Fortunately, I can't target them because I don't want to have to sacrifice permanents to deal with that. So I think Sheoldred's Edict would have been a good response to that. But I had to spend that just to try to get some momentum going here. If they cast it, I'll deal with it then. Maybe I can just draw into a board wipe where I don't have to target it. Diabolic Intent might be a pretty good way to go here too. That's okay. I think I'm just going to cast removal on them right now. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, because I can actually remove their commander by it, because it doesn't target them. So I'm just going to go ahead and use Hero's Downfall to target Sheoldred. And that's going to sack my token, but that's alright, not a big deal. I'll make another one here. Let's go ahead, you know what, let's just go for it. Nykthos, that's a really good one. That's going to give me some good value there.
My magic is quite impressive.
So I think here I might make a token and then kill the token off with Diabolic Intent to try to fetch something that's going to let me proliferate so I can do her ultimate next turn. My life is pretty low right now, so I am going to need to come up with something on this next turn, otherwise I'm in pretty big trouble. I could do Grey Merchant, that'll buy me some life, but that's really not what I need here. I just need to find something that's going to let me proliferate and then just go for it right now. Let's see, what's going to let me do that? You know what, maybe one of these other... This is going to make me lose an additional life, which could be kind of a problem. But that will let me proliferate and get some card draw. Yeah, let's just go with that. 3, 4, 5. I could cast that now, but I have to pay 2 life to cast it. I don't think that's what I want to do right now. Yeah, I'm going to pass. Even though I'm down to 5 life, I'm still not in a terrible position right now. So that's going to give them really good value. So all their spells are going to be cheaper, and they're going to get some card draw off of it. That's a really solid card. I think I might even... Oh, that's going to shut down Liliana. Okay, that's actually a massive problem. So that's going to shut down my commander, so I can't actually ultimate her next turn anyway, and I don't really have anything in this deck to deal with artifacts. That's kind of a problem. Well, let me see what I can do, I guess. And of course I searched out another Planeswalker too, so that's not going to do me any good. Well, let's take a look at their hand. Let's see what they got. Yeah, this is a combo right here, so I'm going to have to keep them from doing that. But they don't have any removal in hand, so that's not really a big deal. I'm just going to take their creature. I don't care if they gain life right now. Yeah, really no point in casting this at all. That's not going to do me any good. I can sack a token to draw a card. Let's just sack a treasure token. Okay, so that removal might come in handy, but I think I'm in a pretty tight spot right now. I mean, maybe I could just beat them down with the creatures that I have if I can just keep them from gaining too much life. Okay, so they're gonna go for ramp here. Yeah, fortunately that Immortal Sun, it really just kind of shuts this deck down, and I was so close to getting her ultimate too. That was a really good draw for them. Not much I can really do here. They are going to lose some life from that though. This is fine because I can just board wipe here. If I do this for 5, I can get my Cavern Bat back and snag their Exquisite Blood and make them have to try to deal with that. No, that's gonna make me, yeah, let's let it go. Yeah, they're gonna cast it this turn. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna have to kill them now. But I can't tap Ancient Tomb for that. That's gonna cost me too much. So let's just do like this. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to use my treasures to deal with this. Oh, no, I ran out of time. That's okay. Oh, target opponent. Yeah, sure, go ahead. So they aren't going to get their trigger here. But I am dead next turn. To black market connections, so I'm kind of just, yeah, I think that's it. They got me here. Good game. Alright, well, I mean, that's one way to shut this deck down is with that artifact there. Most of the games I played today, I've just been getting shut down to like really heavy aggro decks or counter spells. But I mean, that's something else. I mean, that's a really good card to have in your deck. Tons of value, and it's a pretty big problem for your opponents to have to try to deal with too. Opponent goes first. I don't like this hand. I do have land, but I'd rather have some ramp in hand. I'll try one more hand here, and we'll see what happens. One more game. If they're gonna do anything, they might be taking a nap right now. Alright, let's mulligan. This is also not yeah, this is not great. I'm gonna mulligan that too. I'll live with this, sure. So I've got 4 lands. I've got some pretty cheap removal options. What's the answer though? I kind of like to keep this one. Let's send Diabolic back. I don't have any creatures to sacrifice for it anyway. Curse of Silence. That's disgusting. So that's going to tax my commander right off the bat. Normally this is the kind of game I'll just automatically scoop for, but I don't know. I'm feeling like sticking it out for some reason. Grave Pact is pretty good here, but I don't really have a ton of creatures to sacrifice to make them sacrifice. Unless I get something that will generate some creatures like the black market connections. Yeah, they're ramping up pretty good here. Hopefully I'll get some card draw off that guy. Lately, I really haven't gotten too much from it. They usually just eat the 6 and then just deal with it later. Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's one way to deal with it. But you know what? They cast it on that now, so I guess I do have the ability to... That's actually pretty good ramp right now. That's going to help. I'm going to Staff of Completion. If I draw a land next turn, I can cast my commander plus proliferate it with the staff. Otherwise, I can just use the staff to tap for mana to cast her. At their end step, I'll tap it to draw a card too. So what does their commander do? I think let's see. It's pretty expensive to cast, 4, 6 mana. I mean, they're almost there. If they drop a land, they can cast it this turn. And it has haste too. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, let's draw a card and see what happens. It is a land, however, that land is not gonna do me much good, unfortunately. Let's go for some value here. That is an angel. I am gonna actually use this because maybe they don't have the land that they need. Because they can tap this for a land to cast their commander. But if I remove that, then they're going to have to figure out something. They're going to have to draw a land on the next turn. That might slow them down a little bit. So it looks like they don't actually have the land. I think they would have dropped it by now. And I do have the mana to cast my commander next turn. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that is a problem. So now I have to figure out a way to deal with that. So I am going to do Black Market Connection to try to get some card draw into something that's useful here. I might be dead next turn. If I drop my commander this turn, they're going to be forced to attack my commander. Let's see if they draw some cards. If they have another creature with haste, though, I might be in some pretty deep trouble here. If they don't pump up their commander this turn, then I can survive one more turn and hopefully draw into something that's going to help me. I could put some counters on this, but I don't think I can put enough to deal with any of the threats. So let's go ahead. I think it's -3. That's not going to help. So I could use her -3 ability and kill her, but that just gives plus or minus the amount of swamps that I have. So I can't kill their commander because they have 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a land. And keep my fingers crossed and hope for a good turn. Because I'm going to lose 6 life. Because I guess they have, yeah, technically double strike. Plus I'm going to lose 1 more life from Black Market. Okay, so they are going to go for the commander, which is kind of good because they're going to have to do it twice to kill it.
I missed an opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. So that's going to save me some life, actually. So now the question is, do I want to risk Black Market connections to try to grab another card here? Poison the Cup is pretty good. That's going to help. I can deal with their commander. Let me see. If I take 3 to draw a card, lose a life, and then I've got to take at least 1 more next turn, so that'll put me down to 4. You know what? I'm a sucker for value. I'm just going to take the 2 here, and you know what? That's not great, actually. That's not going to help. I could cast her now and kill their commander, and then I'd only have to worry about taking 2. No, because they'll just recast it next turn anyway. So I think what I have to do here is before their next combat step, before they go into combat, I have to kill her. Yeah, no point in attacking right now. Hopefully they cast something and use up their mana so I can cast removal on their commander, and then they don't have enough mana to recast it this turn. I think that's wishful thinking, but it looks like my goose is cooked here. Yeah, and they go to combat, so not much I can do here. I think the problem is they're going to get another combat with this angel, so I can use this to try to slow it down a little bit. I might honestly just be better off taking the 4 damage. Let's see what happens here. No, I think I have to do it. It's not going to kill it, but it is going to reduce the amount of damage that I'm going to take this turn. And try to keep me alive a little bit longer. Oh, that's actually pretty good because that's a 3 mana. So I could kill it next turn. Yeah, let's go ahead and put 1 more charge counter on there. That way on my upkeep, if I need to, I can go ahead and sacrifice Blast Zone to deal with that. And that's also going to deal with Banishing Light plus Chromatic Lantern. That's going to get rid of Black Market too, which is going to save me some life too. Yeah, that might be the way to go. And then they're not going to have much mana, so they're going to have 4, 5, 6 mana. So they're going to be pretty short. So let's go ahead and just make the treasure token, and then we'll sack Blast Zone here. This is pretty solid too. But I think honestly I'd rather just deal with that. Deal with the immediate threat. Yeah, let's go ahead and sack it. Sure, and then I've still got a little bit of open mana. I'm going to play this Polluted Delta, but I don't want to sacrifice it because I'm already at 3 life, and that's not looking great right now. I could cast Portal to Phyrexia. The problem is if they figure out a way to get their commander down, I'm pretty much dead. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take some map tokens. That's okay, not a big deal. Yeah, they're still not casting their commander next turn, so I think, even though I'm not going to get any value right now out of casting this, yeah, maybe the commander is the way to go. They might actually sacrifice that now to draw a card. Yeah, I think they're looking for more lands.
Address me as Queen. Beg for your life.
Alright, and let's go ahead and cast Tiny Bones right now, because why not? Sure, let's put it on him. Not really what I need. Somehow, and I don't know how, but I could actually win this. But I mean, I am just like one lightning bolt away from death. That's okay. I can get rid of that this turn. Not a big deal. 6, 7, 7. They are 1 mana away from casting their commander, though. Wait, they got 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they just need 1 more. Do I attack? I mean, if they cast their commander next turn, I think it's pretty much over. But if they cast something else with haste, that's going to be a pretty big problem too. I don't know what card they're holding on to. Maybe I'll just swing with 1. Let's see what we get from Tiny Bones. This is exactly what I need. That's gonna keep them from casting their commander. Pay 1. Oh, I don't. Oh no. Wait, hold on. Wait, it won't let me do this at instant speed? Oh no, it's not gonna let me, is it? Oh, that's a problem.
Your misery is my greatest resource.
Okay, that's a bummer. And I think that's it. Gosh dang haste. Alright, well, that was, you know, fair try. Good game. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Alright, yeah, I could have prevented that last turn if I could have sacked that polluted delta at instant speed. I guess that's not something that's possible. Alright, well I think that's going to pretty much do it for this deck right now. I've played a handful of games with that, and I've just not been having very good luck with it today. Some days are better than others, and this is just not one of those days where this deck is really at its best moment. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I'll try to upload some other decks a little bit later on.